auf den kleinen grünen Knopf gedrückt.
Wenn mir das jemand sagt, dann mache ich das freundlich.
Licht, oder? Nee, unten, nicht an der, sogar unten, genau da, so wie so ein Lämpelein. Ein bisschen länger gedrückt halten.
Also jetzt leuchtet das Teil.
Das ist
was die Lampe soll, leuchten?
Ja, genau, damit du auch leuchten in der Lampe.
Wir kriegen das hin. Jesus Christ, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the latency, but thank you for your patience. You brought great weather, thank you for that. Hi, welcome to the OOC Timber Construction Award. Hi, welcome. Hope you're good? How was your day so far? Thank you very much. Well, you made yourself comfortable, great job. You over there as well. Hi. Too shy to wave back. All good. I see you anyways. So, welcome to the Timber Construction Award. This is a special award because we do have 7 award givers tonight. All of these are associations from the timber industry. And the representative today is someone who is the chairman of the study community of the timber industry. Plus, he himself is an entrepreneur in the very same industry. And I stalked their website. His family name is Schütt, and their slogan is, Schütt is another word for timber. What an intro. Welcome to the stage, the chairman, Tilman Schütt.
Guys, yeah, no. Can you hear me? No. Something went. Hello? Yes. Okay. Good evening. Yes. I stand here. Oh, das ist nicht stabil. It's not. Maybe now. Also ich habe keinen sauberen Ton. Ganz daran, ne? Okay, I have to make it very clear. Okay. I stand here today as chairman of the Studiengemeinschaft Holz-Leinbau, one of the 7 German timber construction organizations that have awarded the Timber Construction Award. These organizations are the Bundesverband Deutscher Fertigbau. It's a representation of interests of the industrial, nationally active German manufacturers of prefabricated wooden houses. The Holzbau Deutschland, Bund Deutscher Zimmerermeister. Holzbau Deutschland represents the carpenter profession and is committed to high performance and competitive timber constructions in Germany. And the performance partners from Holzbau Deutschland, which are machine manufacturers and material suppliers. We have the Informationsdienst Holz. With more than 700 members, the Informationsdienst Holz is a nationwide forum. It communicates reliable and neutral knowledge in timber constructions. And there is the Landesbetrieb Wald und Holz NRW. It's a state enterprise and responsible for the management and the sustainable protection of the state forest in Nordrhein-Westfalen. We have the Studiengemeinschaft Holz-Leinbau. It is the German organization of the manufacturers of glued structural wood products such as laminated timber, cross-laminated timber or other glued connections. And finally, the Überwachungsgemeinschaft Konstruktionsvollholz, which is a quality surveillance organization representing the manufacturers of structural finger-jointed timber. Yes, thank you. What motivated us to offer this prize? Within this great competition, we wanted to put a special focus on the material timber. Timber is a building material that can make a decisive contribution to the development of solutions that combine climate protection and resource efficiency with the need for new and affordable living space in a sustainable manner. We want to encourage young engineers and architects to think about the use of wood in an innovative way, to research and to develop new solutions. Sometimes we have to leave old ways of thinking. We will need new ideas for the reuse of old buildings. They have to be strengthened energetically, and they have to be given creative new tasks. And we will need new buildings, buildings that can be erected and dismantled quickly, that can be easily adjusted in size to meet changing needs, and within having to forego energetic or sustainable qualities. The components should be developed so intelligently that they can be reused many times in new construction tasks. We have to think about how we can later release the necessary connections, like, for example, staplings and gluings. We will also evaluate our constructions according to their material consumption, because our resources are becoming scarce. You have already provided us with exciting and bold ideas here at the Solar Decathlon. Our jury had the difficult task of selecting the best teams from the many committed teams with their great solutions. Let's see who finally prevailed. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim and Schut. So, I just had a short conversation with someone. He's the jury director and the lecturer for this award. And he told me that he's an architect from London. And I was like, okay, so you're fluent in English? And he was like, yes, probably very fluent in English. And he told me that in the UK, or in London especially, it's rather unusual to work with timber, actually. So that's why I'm very curious what he's to tell us about his work with timber. Please welcome to the stage the jury director, Andrew Wall.
Thank you so much. Dankeschön. Guten Abend. Wir sehen mir für sprechen in English. That's the end of my German. Thank you for waiting, everybody. I'm so sorry about that. I need to flick. That's us. So here we are, looking very, not very English, but we're an architect's practice based in London. And for the last 20 years or so, we have become increasingly excited and interested and passionate, as I've seen today from you all, about the opportunities for building in timber. And we do that because we're concerned. We feel responsible. We think it's imperative that architects, engineers, developers, contractors, everybody involved in our industry begins to see things through the lens of low carbon, begins to understand the impact of the work that we do on the environment, and thinking about the opportunities for transformation, to celebrate a new kind of success in architecture. Now, this is a building, not by me. This is a building by Norman Foster, and this building cost over €1 billion to build and won lots of awards for being incredibly sustainable. It has stone, 7 different types of stone from 4 different continents, and the management systems of the building that power the heating, the lighting, the air conditioning cost €100 million to do. And one night, after a beer, the architect said to me, not Norman Foster, but another architect, said to me that if they put a poster up outside the building that in the summertime said, take your jacket off, and in the wintertime said, put a sweater on, they could have saved €100 million. So this, for me, is a plea for simplicity, for sufficiency, for efficiency. Not only do we need to transform our architecture, our construction, but also the way that we live, the way that we think about things, and what we value. So what can we do as architects, as engineers? Well, in fact, going vegan, stop eating meat. I know for Germans that's so difficult, I'm so sorry. But, you could do that, and that's a great thing to do. I'm not a vegan, I admire vegans. You could save 2 tons of carbon by becoming a vegan. But as an architect, if you think a bit more carefully about the way that you design, and it may not be that you can build a building in timber, but you can make small changes through decisions that you make, and even a 10% change, even a 10% reduction in the carbon that is emitted from the buildings that you produce can be 1,000 times more effective than going vegan. So as architects, engineers, we have great agency in this space, and we need to make sure that we take that responsibility seriously. So for us, that started really with our first tall building in London in 2008, a 9-story building, and it was such a wonderful process. It's so simple, so straightforward, as I'm sure you've all found, like working with timber is such a rewarding process, not only in terms of design, but also in terms of the whole construction itself. So this building went up in 4 people built this building in 27 days, 9 stories, very simple details. And I'm sure now lots of you are familiar with the advantages. Less waste through prefabrication, totally quiet because it's all put together with cordless screwdrivers, fewer deliveries, and very lightweight. So that was a really exciting process for us, and we've gone on to complete nearly 30 buildings now across the UK and in France. This is the largest one, completed 18,000 square meters of apartments. Would have weighed 10,000 tons in concrete, but in timber is less than 2,000 tons of sweet-smelling pine trees. So we know how fast this is, how effective this is. You can see by the time the train has gone past, the building is finished. And this is another project. This is a project perhaps more relevant for today, about thinking about the way in which we're developing our language in timber as a practice, thinking about components, thinking about systems, thinking about being able to replicate what we do, being able to systematize what we do. This building for a shelving manufacturer in the UK, and we developed a system with the shelving manufacturer, developed a system of frames that ran up the factory, run up this building, which is a factory. You can see on the outside a softwood CLT shell, but on the inside using hardwood LVL frame. And that's as strong as steel. There's some great opportunities using these sorts of materials. And this is a building using the same sort of system that we have on site in London at the moment. So all timber, 5,000 square meter office building in central London, exposing all the timber, an LVL frame, and I'm not going to go into all of this. It's a bit late in the evening for pie charts, but it's a vast reduction in concrete. I can tell you that. A 72% reduction in carbon from a concrete equivalent. So this is it going up here. Lots of Germans on site helping us out. And that will be finished in about a month or so. One of our principal projects at the moment, and we're now increasingly a research-led practice. So we're working for the European Union on the Horizon 2020 research project, building wood, looking at different types of systems of building in timber. And many of those, actually, and this will be available on the website by the end of this year. So lots of different structural systems that work across all 27 different nations within the EU, plus one. And the first one of these is looking at a project in Trondheim, very similar to lots of the work that I've seen today. And that started as a concept piece, talking to local people in Trondheim, trying to understand their needs, their requirements, alongside the kind of notion of building in timber, never losing sight of the architecture involved. And this is taking an existing post-war 3-story building, 1950s building in Trondheim, putting 2 stories on top, and then using the structure of the additional stories to hang a new facade down the front and down the rear. So similar to many of the fantastic projects that I've seen today. Some of them even better. Lots of things for me to learn today. It's been fantastic. But taking a lot of these lessons, this is a project that we have in Milan at the moment, a big office project, big for us. Taking those componentized systems, using those components, extrapolating that up the system across the plan, and so then you have a 225,000 square meter building to be completed in 10 months. So that's the interior, the lobby areas, and you know what it's all about for us? It's about letting the wood do the work. So this is not about ostentatious forms. This is not about trying to sort of discover an architecture and then having an engineering that fits that architecture. This is about understanding how structure can drive form, how structure can drive architecture. and will be it finished by end of next year. And in fact, we just built a prototype. That was me on Friday in Milan, there just in front of the prototype. So it's getting very exciting now. But just thinking about the opportunities we have, this is a picture obviously of Manhattan. The average tall building in Manhattan is now over 80 years old. So actually the repairing, we can't knock those buildings down, not only from a carbon perspective, but also to demolish one of those buildings, take it out the tunnel, bring all the new buildings back, all the new materials back through the tunnel, and rebuild that building would take years and years. So thinking about how we can use these existing structures to extend, to renew, to regenerate our cities. This is a project that we have currently in London, like this, which is taking an existing 38-story tower and thinking about how we can extend that tower using timber. So we're able to add a third more area to the tower without touching the existing foundations. And that should look something like that. And this is the number of tree seeds that it took to grow the trees that built our first tall building. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew Wall. I got curious when he said they had buildings all over Europe made of timber, and he saw a few that were even better than his on this ground. I'm curious which of these were, according to his opinion. Now, in order to know who won the Timber Construction Award, I welcome on stage one of the jurors. He is from the Informationsdienst Holz, one of the jurors. Please welcome with me, Michael Keller.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Students, well done. We had a very exciting day today. It was quite hard to take a decision, to be honest, but finally we made it. First, I would like to thank everybody who has the opportunity to build in timber, and you did it. Nearly all of the projects were built in timber on a more or less perfect way, which is fine. You are students, so you don't know everything about timber. Even we don't know it as professionals with 30 years and more experience. We had shortlisted on our final decision we took today the team from Delft, the team from Rosenheim, the team from Biberach, the team from Bucharest, the team from Karlsruhe, the team from Düsseldorf, and the team from Stuttgart. Out of this shortlist, we have taken a decision of awarding one first place, 2 second places, and a special recommendation, a special mention for one team who did a building in a way we were quite impressed about, with what kind of low engineered technology and also low engineered material you can build a nice and functioning timber building. And this is the team I would like to start with. Our special prize, our special mention, is going to the Romanian team. Yes, where are they? Where is the Romanian team? Is anybody here? Please come in front. Let me tell you the description of the jury to this special mention. Using material from local sources combined with a very simple and effective way of timber structure convinced the jury that there is another way of using timber in a low-tech construction way. Building sufficient and efficient using low-tech material and technology reflects the approach of the team to the regional conditions. So congratulations to this special mention. You get the certificate. One of it. And okay, sorry, I thought it's out. This is a very, very professional lecture about timber structures done by the University in Graz. So I recommend you study this book and then you make your final, you find your final profession, and hopefully it will be a profession using timber. Well, thank you very much. You can stay in front here. If you like. As I told you, we have 2 second prizes. It was quite hard to decide. There was a project, the description from the jury was the scalability of the efficient modular structure combined with a concept for the local situation is showing a sufficient way to address the challenges of our future in the building industry. New forms of living in combination with off-site production has been the main focus of the team. The design is showing a convincing way into the future of lightweight extensions and refurbishment in timber. And this is the first of the 2 second places, and it's going to Team Sun. So, congratulations. The same literature. Thank you very much. Please stay here somewhere. And the second place is awarded to a team. They thought about new forms of living in combination with a very high professional off-site production. And this has been the main focus of the team. The scalability of the design is showing a convincing way into the future of lightweight extensions and also refurbishment. The architectural expression and the structural design, they harmonize quite seamless and show the interdisciplinary cooperation of the students. And those students were out of the team Colab Stuttgart. Congratulations. Each award has a winner. To get this winner sometimes it's quite hard for a jury to take the decision. And today, to be honest, we spent about 2 hours more than we expected to find the winner. Finally, the winner was very much focused on renovation and addition of story on urban buildings. The team has shown exceptional performance using a prefabricated, modular and natural timber construction. Using a kind of a lightweight design with a perfect prefabricated system in a sufficient and articulate way convinced the jury to take the team as a winner for the Timber Construction Award. Also, the reuse of material, thoughts about urban mining combined with a very comprehensive exercise shows the professional approach of the team RoofKit. So I hope everybody has a good party. I'm not sure if the jury gets something to eat because earlier on somebody told me we might not be invited for dinner tonight because we have chosen the wrong team. So we will see, maybe the jury steps over to your places to have a drink. Thank you very much. Have a good time and thanks for this fantastic competition.
I'll get out of the way, kind of. So as Michael Keller already said, thank you very much. Of course we'll have a celebration because the award givers, you can see the glasses already filled over there. You are all invited to have a glass of sparkling wine with us. Plus, right after the award ceremony, there will be the band, the Holzer band, on stage with live music. And I mean, it's German Day. So what must be included? Of course, free beer. So you're invited to have a glass of beer as well. Thank you very much to the jury. Congratulations to the teams. Have a great evening. See you. Bye.